Hi, I'm Chad Wilson, Vice President of Curriculum here at 2Win Global. I'm joined by John Coker, who's our Vice President of Sales here at 2Win. And we wanted to talk with you today about executive engagements, and specifically why executive engagements are fundamentally different than some of the conversations, interactions, presentations that you might be used to. So John, you played basketball at university at a high level, right, at Boise State, and then transitioned to play professional basketball in the NBA with the Phoenix Suns. Now, let's start with your experience as a collegiate or a university level player. You've shared with me how playing at that level, you were able to direct the pace of the game. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think certainly in university, you're playing with a high level of competition. But I'd say I felt confident in my skills at that level to really be in control of the game, to be able to control the pace, to be intentional in my movements and my strategy, both offensively and defensively. And so as we transition to the Phoenix Suns, now the game has changed. I'm with a higher level of athlete, certainly, and also it's a different game. And because of that, particularly in the beginning, I just felt less in control of the pace. And I felt like I was playing reactionary instead of driving the game, being in charge and being intentional about my movements, what led me to my success at the university level.
And so maybe as a seller or in your role, you feel confident in your ability to direct your client interactions. But as you move into executive engagements, it's a different level, right? When you move to the NBA, it's still basketball.
Correct.
But it's a different level now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same skill set that's ultimately going to help drive success. Same as in our executive conversations. They're just at a different level and can happen quicker. I think executives are more to the point. Same as I would say the NBA is just straight to the point. You know, it's the game is the game, and I needed to adjust to that fundamentally, certainly, and skills, and somewhat in experience. To be honest, I mean, I just needed more experience in there, and that mix of working on those fundamentals with gaining that experience gave me that same type of confidence to now be able to start to take back over control and drive success.
So you played in the NBA, you got used to the pace, you got used to the skill level. What happened just in terms of the pace of the game? What did it feel like as you made that adaptation?
Well, I mean, obviously the game's happening at the same speed, but in real time, it just feels like it just slows down. I feel like I can start to anticipate what's going to happen next. Yeah. What's my opponent going to do on offense so that I can be intentional with the way that I play defense? Do you push them over the screen? Do you go under the screen? Those types of things. So I think just that pace slowing down makes the game feel easier.
Yeah, and I think some of these executive engagements are very similar. Executives are in their role because they earn the right to be in those roles. They're sharp.
Exactly.
They have a broader view of the business. They tend to be a little bit more directive and to the point. And one of the things that you mentioned was being intentional, of putting yourself in a position to influence the play. Is it similar in these executive engagements as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being connected to who's in your audience and understanding at this executive level, how are they motivated and how am I aligning my core message to that motivation. And I think that in a business setting is being intentional the same way that I would have offensively or defensively by knowing the strengths and weaknesses of my opponent and their tendencies. Same as here, being connected to their motivations and how am I resonating with that and being intentional with my message and what questions I may ask as well. So yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's some very practical fundamentals that get applied differently in the NBA. And in the same regard, when we're having conversations with executives, we want to make sure that we're connecting to their priorities.
Right.
We've been talking about slowing down the pace of the game so you can see more clearly what's happening. Now, in executive engagements, obviously we're not going to actually slow these down, but we want to see more clearly what's happening so that we can be more directive and influence the outcome of these meetings. John, it's been great having you with us. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing your perspectives.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chad. Great conversation. Had a lot of fun. Appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
All right, let's do it.